Hello, how are you? I'm so glad that you're here. I'm Kayla. This is Flosstube number 11, and let's talk about cross stitch, shall we? I'm at a slightly different angle. I'm usually just more straight on. I'm sitting angled to my dining room table because I'm trying to give you something interesting to look at. So that is Winter Rose Manor. That is the Scarlet House. Nope. There we go. Kinda. Wow. There we go. Red chair sampler. That's harder than you would think. And there is my nightshade bird drum. Yeah. Oh, Amy wants to come say hi real quick.
Hi.
Do you have anything else to say?
I just want to say hi and thank you for saying hi to me every time.
That's nice. Good job. I like your eyeshadow. Amy just put on some eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you later. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Okay, so let's just get into it. I've got, I fully finished not Nightshade Bird, Quaker Handwork. I fully finished Quaker Handwork. You guys saw this last last video where I had finished it, but not fully finished it yet, but I did have this frame, which I had bought to put it in. So yeah, the next day I just cut out some mat board and put a little batting on it and kind of just glued it all on, had it really nicely centered, and then put some more glue in the back of this frame and just popped it in there. It was quite snug, so it actually loosened the fabric ever so slightly as I was like forcing it in there. I should have made the mat board a tiny bit smaller, but you live and you learn. And I mean, from here, it looks pretty dang good. I'm pleased with it. I can just tell that it's like not as tight as it was originally when I first put it together, because I had to kind of force it in and then it kind of worked at the edges slightly, if that makes any sense. But I still love it. It looks really good. And actually, I usually have it sitting back there where Nightshade Bird is. I may hang it at some point. There is a hook. But just for now, I've had it kind of propped there. And I really, really like it. Okay, so here's my little book of days. I actually did not stitch it all yesterday. So here's for the end of February. And then here's my beginning of March. I mean, it's only what, the 4th, so I haven't written anything yet for today. And like I said, I didn't on Wednesday, actually, I didn't stitch. Thursday I did. So yeah, that's that. Let me show you what I've been working on besides getting Quaker Handwork fully finished. That's by Brenda Gervais, by the way. If you're new here, I stitched that with almost all the called for colors, with the exception of 2 colors that I swapped out for DMCs because I just couldn't get them. Didn't have them, didn't want to wait for them from somewhere else. So I just swapped them out because I was in a hurry to start it. And it's on 36 count antique ivory Zweigart linen, 1/2. Okay. So last video, I had spun my wheel and said that I needed to spend 8 hours on Sheep Heap, which was my newest start. So I thought that was a little bit funny, because kind of the point of the spinny thing is so I will work through all my whips. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I should be touching the older ones. But any of the whips, it doesn't matter. I was happy to work on this. So this is by Plum Street Samplers, and I'm using the DMC conversion that is provided on the chart. And here's where I got to. Oh, let me move my thread. Okay, here's where I got to, which is actually pretty good, decent progress, because this is, although this is quite small, this is a very stitch heavy piece, you know, a lot of solid stitching. So I think last week I had a couple of berries started and I had the black outer frame done, or not last week, last video, but the rest of it hadn't been done. So I actually made quite a bit of progress. And now I'm at the point where I just need to, you know, fill in this sheep, which is good for just when you don't feel like thinking or counting or whatever. This is on 32 count fabric that you can get at Hobby Lobby, this 32 count Murano car. It's like a gray check. It's cotton modal. This is a really cute fabric and it's quite affordable, which is nice. I did purchase it because I wanted to try it. And it's the same like fabric makeup as the Pink Splash, which I used for my May Peace Abide heartstring samplery thing. That's Pink Splash, but same price, same fabric makeup. And I gotta say, even though it's cute and affordable, I probably won't be purchasing it again because I don't like how it feels when I'm pulling thread through. Now, possibly, it just feels like a little bit tighter, but also a little snaggier than linen. I don't know if I'm saying that right because visually it's not tighter. It's quite easy. It looks like a 32 count, you know, but it's just like snaggier. Like you just feel the dragging of the thread through. And you kind of have to work to get your needle through. So what I could do is go down a needle size and use one thread as opposed to 2 threads. Since this is 32 count, I'm using 2 threads. It's 2/2. So if I went down a needle size and used 1 strand of thread as opposed to 2, it may be better, but I've already started it. And like I said, I like using 2 strands on 32 count. I like the coverage that this is. It's just not my favorite feeling. But I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna use up, you know, the rest of what's here. I just know that I prefer the linen, I guess. So that's that. I mean, it is what it is, right? Not everything can be your favorite. I do recommend it. I mean, if you don't mind that, I don't know. Everyone's different and everyone has different preferences. So if you're interested in trying this fabric, I suggest you do. It's just not my favorite. I don't know. Oh, I'm so sorry. I almost knocked you right over and you got to see my mess in the other room. Well, that's not ideal. Okay, let me get you. There you go. Okay, I also spent some time on Stacy Nash Primitives Grace Bridges sampler. I actually finished the first 2 pages, or the first, 2 pages. The first 2 pages are done, which is so awesome. And now I'm into page number, I moved down to page number 4, as opposed to page 3, which you would think because of numerical order. Okay, let me move this thread. Oh my gosh, I'm knocking you like crazy. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I finally finished all of the letters, all the alphabets. Yay. I mean, it just took me forever to do this. Partially because I didn't love stitching this alphabet, and partially because I guess it takes me a long time. I don't know, like these alphabets down here, you know, each letter is a different color and there's like a lot of counting in between each letter. So it just took me a long time. It just wasn't like you could get into a groove and just go and go and go. But yeah, it's done, so it doesn't matter. And I've stitched this tree motif here. And then I had red thread loaded into my thing because the next motif down is what I plan on starting with next. So I've got, okay, the glare, this tree. And then I was going to move down to this next. So next time I pick it up, that's the plan. Yeah, I'm really excited that I've made that much progress. I mean, maybe it's not that much progress, but it just feels like being in the motifs as opposed to the alphabet that took me 100 years is huge, right? So this is on also 36 count antique ivory. And I'm using the called for DMC 1/2. I'm gonna try not to knock you guys over anymore. Sorry about that. I think this is gonna be a really quick video actually because I don't have any haul to share with you guys. I do have a little bit of plans and I have just 2 more whips, so it's okay, it'll be quick. They can't all be long, right? And maybe not everyone likes long videos. Oh, before I show you my other two whips, I don't want to forget, I actually decided to make an Instagram. Before, when I started this YouTube thing, and in the past I even said I don't have an Instagram, but I started one just for stitching. So if you are interested in checking it out, it's KG Stitches, no spaces, just KG Stitches. And if you want me to follow you, you know, show me or tell me below if you want your Instagram handle, or just follow me on Instagram and I'll probably follow you back. But if you tell me your handle, then I'll follow you. I'd be happy to. So yeah, I just thought it would be a good way to connect with more stitchers and see more stitching. You know, you don't always have time to watch a Flosstube, but you do have time to like do a quick scroll down and see some samplers. I'm just following like some family members and stitchers, so that's strictly what it's going to be for. I'll also put in the description if anyone's interested in seeing that. Okay, so the next thing I spent a good amount of time on this past couple of weeks is the Dutch Sampler, a Dutch Sampler by Kathy Barrick. I just love it. I love it. So last I showed this sampler, I was talking about how on the third page of the double fold out pattern, there's like a thin strip of chart at the top of that. And then there's like, you know, the floss colors and description of what was used in the model and just talking about the sampler itself. Not to like really show the chart, but you know, like that kind of information, right? Oh, didn't mean to, but anyway, it's like that. So it's a thin strip of chart though at the top. I finished that thin strip of chart at the top of the third page, and I'm now moved on to the double folded out page of the chart that's above that, you know, page 2. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I am now into like, you know, filling in the top. So as you can see, all these little figures are cut off, right? They don't have the tops of their bodies and their heads and all that, because this strip was only as high as it went. But now I'm in I'm working on the church. I've got all the white done, like all the bricks, and I'm gonna move up with the roof and finish out these windows, fill them in, and then there's 2 storks to put up top. So that's cool. And then I'll just move across and finish up all these motifs, and then I'll move upwards in these big, beautiful floral baskets that so attracted me, helped to attract me to the sampler in the first place. These are so gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really, really excited that I'm now, you know, in that part of the chart probably that goes up to like there across. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be a ton of work to get through that and then up to here too, but yeah. And this is on 36 count Havana by Weeks Dye Works fabric. I'm using the DMC conversion from the chart with the exception of the willow green from Thread Gatherer, which is a silk. I did purchase that because it's very variegated and I didn't want to lose that variegated effect. So, and it's 1/2. Super exciting. And then the last whip I have to show you only got last evening for, you know, some time on, so not a ton, but I worked on Worthy Brown for a little bit. My foot was going numb, sorry. This is by by Carriage House Samplings, which I think, isn't that Kathy Barrick too? Or she designs with Carriage House Samplings? I don't know, I'm a little confused by that. If anyone could let me know what the deal is. But this is from 1999, so I don't know if it's still available or not, but got it from a thrift store, the pattern. And I'm still just on the border, but I started to add, I finished up this side's worth of the red flowery things, and then I started doing the vine. There's still more detail in another color around the vine, but you know, it's just a good baseline for what I'm doing. I did realize, okay, let me back up for a second. I was going to just continue doing the red flowery bits around, but for some reason something stopped me last night and said, why don't you start working on the vine? And I was like, okay. So I'm glad that I did that, because I realized that right here I am 1 stitch off. I have 1 extra stitch, and if I had done the red flowers around the whole thing, it wouldn't have matched up because I would have been 1 stitch off. So I'm 1 stitch off. I'm not going to rip it out. It took me about, a second to be like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to rip back. So I'm just going to make that same mistake up top as far as the spacing goes, and it should be no problem. It's 1 stitch, and it's not like it's whole solid stitching or anything inside the piece. So this is on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart and called for DMC 1/2. So yeah, I mean, it's not that exciting as far as progress goes, but progress is progress. So I'm excited anyway. All right, so I don't have actually any haul, but I am planning on getting DMC to go with a few charts that I'm going to show you. One night could have been Wednesday night. I didn't feel, for some reason, I was just kind of like, bleh, like I didn't feel like stitching, but I did kind of want to do something stitching related. So I took out this Mirabilia, which is Lily of the Woods Dreaming Fairy that I got for Christmas for my hubby. And I took out the linen that he got to go with it, which is Swamp by Picture This Plus, 32 count. I think it's called Swamp. Yeah, Swamp. When he bought this for me, there was a couple of things that were out of stock. All of the DMC is here, and I spent Wednesday night evening after we got home from my son's first baseball practice bobbinating that. So that's all bobbinated, but there was 2 Krynics that hadn't been, with the kit because they were out of stock, and then 1 Mill Hill beads. So I did go ahead and order those. I just went through and made sure which one was the missing one, and I got that ordered. So that should be here soon because I just want to get it all together. And then I started looking at a couple of other patterns that I'm just, interested in starting soon, maybe, and that I had the fabric for. So I took the fabric that I have and put it with the thing, and I'm going to, get the DMC to have it all kitted. So HL's Moth by Kathy Barrick. I have this piece of 36 count Havana to go with it, and the DMC is going to be with it soon. And then Holly by Not Forgotten Farm. Even though this is like a Christmassy pattern, I love her. And I'm not going to stitch her on this tan background, even though it's beautiful. I have this 1/16 of a yard of smoke blue Edinburgh linen, 36 count. And I think that she'll look really nice on that. And it's quite wintry looking to me, so I think it'll go well. So I put that with that. And like I said, I'm going to use the DMC and pop it in there when I get it. And this is another one that I really want to start soon because it's springy and Eastery. This was another thrift find from my mom at the Habitat for Humanity Restore, 25 cents. So the Primitive Betty's Prim Bunny Sampler. There's just a few colors in it, and it's just really sweet and obviously primitive, but just adorable. I think I could get it done pretty quickly. And my plan is to use this small 1/16 of a yard of 40 count flax, which I've never stitched on 40 count before, but I think with a small piece, I think it should be okay. I do have a 40 count piece that is blush also, and I was considering doing it, but I think flax will be closer to what this is. I mean, honestly, like a Vintage Country Mocha or something that's quite modeled would look correct, but I think the flax will look nice. So I'm interested in starting this pretty soon. I think I can get it done pretty quickly. So I can have some springy, Eastery stitch pieces because I don't have any yet. yeah. All right, so I don't know if all those are, I wouldn't say these are my plans, but they're like on my radar to start soon, if that makes sense. I've been looking at some market releases, some designers market releases, and there are some that I'm like totally drooling over. I don't think I'm going to go and rush out and get them though, because I have a lot and I just feel like I don't need to buy more patterns right now. But the ones that specifically come to mind, there are two that I can't stop thinking about. Let's say that the Biscornu by Teresa Kogut, the Newcastle Moths Biscornu. I don't know. It's like a hand-in-hand piece, right, with her Newcastle bouquet sampler. But it's a Biscornu. It's got the moths on it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I've never made a Biscornu before, but I would make that one. And then I watched Hello from Liz Matthews and Kathy Barrick's video of their market releases, and there were a lot of cute ones that I really liked. But the one that I keep thinking about is Kathy's one that has the bird in the cherry tree. I can't remember what it's called, but that's really good. And I haven't been following it as closely as I probably could because I'm trying not to buy a bunch of patterns. So yeah, but those are the two that I've been thinking about quite a bit. So yeah, it's nice and sunny out today, but it's freezing. It's like 24 degrees now. It went up a few. When we got up, it was 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So anyway, we have days where it seems like it wants to get springy and then it goes right back down, which is the beginning of March, so that makes sense. I'm just going to pull up this whip wheel and then we're going to see what I'm going to spend a dedicated amount of time on until next video. And then actually I think I'm going to be done. Sorry, this is really quick, but that's how it goes. So here's my whip wheel. It's all up to date because I haven't finished or started anything new. Well, let's see. Okay, Dutch sampler. That's actually great because I really wanted to finish the church and move on to finishing the stag and all that. So I will be able to do that in my dedicated 8 hours of time. That's awesome. That's hilarious. Yeah, so what else is there to say? I don't know. My son's baseball practices finally started up. My daughter's still doing gymnastics, and my husband's been really busy with work because it slowed down because he travels a lot for work, and it slowed down quite a bit at the end of the year last year, which makes sense because a lot of agencies that they work with, need to do budgeting and stuff. So they're not buying new stuff right at the end of the year or looking at buying new stuff. So but now that the new year is here and it's March and well, February was picking up as well. It's he's getting really busy. So I feel bad for him. He really needs a break, but I think, he works really hard. And then our side business, I don't know if I ever specified, but we resell stuff on like eBay and Mercari. So yeah, like we like thrifting and going to yard sales, as you guys, if you've been watching, probably know. So yeah, we just kind of decided, you know what, why don't we still do that for us, but also if we find stuff that we think someone will want, we'll put it up on eBay. So that's our little side business that we do. So then when my husband's gone for his regular job, then I help do the drafts and like process the items generally. But then when he's gone, obviously we're doing like the packing and the shipping as well. So that's been stuff we've been doing besides homeschool. And now baseball practice has started. Like I said, Amy's doing gymnastics. What else is new? I don't know what else to say. Oh, I've been working a bit on my sample stitch for the sampler that I've reproduced or charted to reproduce, and I'm sample stitching that. It's kind of slow going. I've been feeling kind of I don't know, nervous, I guess it's the best word, a little anxiety surrounding it, which is really just me being like, what if I'm not good enough? And what if I, don't make the PDF nice enough and blah, 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 which is just silly. And I know, and I always try to have a very can-do attitude with everything, because it's like, there's nothing to it but to try. And if you're not good, you can just improve, right? But I don't know. I guess it's because I admire so many designers, cross-stitch designers, and I admire their work so much. And I know that they've got beautiful designs and they're so creative and blah, blah, blah. And I just find myself like letting myself intimidate myself, which is stupid. So anyway, I guess that's just part of being human. I'm just working through it, but I've been feeling a little intimidated. But I did figure out I got a PDF editor, which is very exciting. So I figured out some of the technical aspects of getting the PDF pattern together. So anyway, yeah, that's that. That's the update there. And like I said already, KG Stitches on Instagram if you're interested. You can follow me there if you want. That'd be cool. I mean, like, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I don't want to ramble your ear off too much. So I'll put my 8 hours into Dutch Sampler, which is cool. I wanted to work on that anyway. And I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll start maybe the Prim Bunny Sampler. Little cheeky start. Hopefully it's start to finish. That'd be good. Yeah, that's really it. Amy's very creative and she draws all the time. But she's also been working on a leprechaun house because she wants desperately to get a leprechaun to move in this year. So we'll see how that goes, if we are able to get a leprechaun to stay with us. She's getting a cardboard box and she's decorating it, and she wants to go to the dollar store today to get some more St. Patrick's Day paraphernalia to decorate her leprechaun house with. So we'll probably do that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop rambling. I hope you guys are well. I hope you are well. Thank you for spending your time with me. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and stick around. Yeah, but again, if you don't, there's a ton of amazing floss tubers out there. So anyway, I hope you're well. Keep stitching. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.